This is Wobbly Wallaby. Today I'll be looking at the time machine for the September 10th to December 10th time period and providing analysis on the notable headwear as well as free-to-play substitutions. If you're short on reunion proof, you may want to know what is optimal for your situation. For example, I have 32 reunion proof, which I got from the sign-in rewards or from doing events, so I can buy one purple quality item. I'll go through my decision that led to my purchase. In this video, I'll cover 1. Factors that influence my headwear analysis. 2. The analysis for the important headwear. 3. Show an example 900 BCC plus 150 free ticket time machine roll to see how reunion proof is used. 4. Show what I chose with my reunion proof. First, let's look at the factors that influence my headwear analysis. I have 5 factors that influence my buying decision for this time machine period. 1. 1% deposits. I will always try to get the 1% deposits if possible. If you have limited reunion proof, trying to maximize 1% deposits is always good. This has the best long-term benefit since there's always a chance that they can release something new that will replace what you just bought, and so in that case, you can still deposit this headwear and get the really nice 1% deposit. 2. What free-to-play alternatives are there? Sometimes you can get headwear from the exchange or through quests that can closely match headwear from this machine. I'll put some alternatives when going through the headwear analysis so you can decide whether the free-to-play version is okay and whether you should buy something else that is harder to substitute. 3. Job EXP boosting gear isn't good. There's always lots of ways to gain extra job EXP, especially now that Saint gear can be purchased. The NPC to buy Saint gear is here in Pantera. Although this isn't headwear, this is still a great way to get extra job EXP through other parts of your gear. 4. Damage to regular monsters. A lot of people multi-class to better farming classes with the combined combat time. Stellar Hunter is super popular, so sometimes people lack damage, so these come in handy. 5. Sockets for head items are important. One easy way for me to eliminate a ton of headwear from my analysis is the lack of sockets for the head items. The card for head items are extremely good, so I would never give up my card slot for one of these in the time machine. Next, the analysis for the important headwear. Let's begin with the head items. There are 67 head items. Of the 67, only 10 have sockets. Of the 10, 5 are green quality and bad, so I won't bother talking about them. Next, there are 3 blue quality head items. Crown of Light. I don't see people using this, so I wouldn't recommend it. A free-to-play alternative is the Golden Dragon Crown that you can craft from the Yggdrasil Spirit Tree in Wasteland. It would provide 4% magic penetration and +1 to all attributes. Next, Nostalgic Love Poem. This is decent for PvP, especially if you refine it to 6. I don't find demi-human damaging specific head items to be particularly useful. I would rather have generic damaging increasing head items instead. But if you really need a free-to-play alternative, try Ikumaman, which gives you 5% damage to demi-human. This is an event item, so you may not have it on newer servers such as Destiny's Promise. Johnson's Hat. This gives more job EXP and less base EXP. Not a buy for me since I don't like job EXP items. You should use Saint gear instead if you're lacking job EXP or get leeched. However, those are not headwear items, but they can still increase your job EXP. Next, there are 2 purple quality head items. First is the Ned Hodge's Poison Fang. This is useful for farming as it adds a lot of damage. The extra 5% job EXP is a nice bonus too. However, it's not very useful for PvE content since it doesn't do extra damage to bosses. You can also get it for the 1% deposit as well. Next is Dawn Flute. This is very good for physical damage classes. I see many people still using this. It's also nice that it has a 1% deposit. The free-to-play alternative is to have a high refined White Knight helm, which is better versus bosses, or using the +10 Glacier power so you can get the inside effect from the Minoris cards, in case you need the 50% extra ignore defense, which would likely be much better than the penetration you can get from Dawn Flute. Also, if your guild level isn't high enough to refine headwear, then you're stuck with a 2% penetration, which isn't good enough. Next are back items. In total, there are 13 of these to look through. Of those, 2 are green quality back items, and they're so bad that you shouldn't buy them. There are 11 blue quality back items, and of that, there are 4 that are worth talking about. First, the Dragon Tamer Wand. This isn't bad for magic users that lack variable cast time reduction. The magic attack percentage is decent too. This would be good for early game people, but not so much for later since you'd have enough variable cast time reduction with other gear. A better free-to-play alternative is the Ancient One's staff for 8% magic attack and plus 10 int. Even though you don't get the variable cast time reduction, I see people use this quite often. Also, this was an events item, so you might not get these on older servers, such as Destiny's Promise. Next is Phoebe Ribbon, which provides 8% demi-human damage increase, which is very high. This would be decent in PvP. I don't have a good free-to-play substitution for this, but anything that deals extra damage would be good. Next is Pablo's Secret, which is great for auto-attack classes. The extra damage is based on base level, so it is quite high at 170. However, I don't see Style Hunters or Rune Masters using this, so I wouldn't put it as a top tier item. The chance to get 5 extra Zenny is also nice for farming. The free-to-play alternative includes the Sakura Puppet for auto-attack damage increase. The Sakura Puppet can be purchased from the Amaterasu headwear NPC, or the plus 10 adventure bag for the extra buffs. Next is Starfield Poem. It's only good for Holy Element users, so pass this up if you aren't using Holy damage. A free-to-play alternative is the Gold Christmas Bell, which you can craft from the Gingerbread City after unlocking the blueprint. You do have to do some tedious quests, so it's definitely pretty painful. You will get Holy damage plus 8% from this. Next, Sound of Eternal Dusk. The extra attributes and move speed is nice, but you have to take damage and you want teammates around you to get this effect. I would prefer something with guaranteed damage reduction or buffs over something this conditional. A Divine Avenger or Saint without anything better could use this though. A free-to-play alternative for Saint is Stellar Wings, and this is dropped from clearing the 30th floor in Echoing Corridor. Stellar Wings is good because it provides damage and magic damage reduction as well as bonus healing. Another free-to-play alternative for support classes is Ancestral Serpent's Sword. This adds HP percentage and neutral damage reduction. Next are face items. There are 14 face items in total. The green quality ones are bad, so I won't mention these two. There are 12 blue quality face items. There are a few decent ones to bring up here. First, Psy Butterfly. You might see this and think the 4% attack is good, but the free-to-play alternative is Angel Spirit, which provides 4% attack. Also, if you're using skills that are not auto-attack, then Silent Sinking is much better. The 4% skill damage is much better than 4% attack or 4% magic attack. Next is the Love Thorn. This provides 4% magic attack, but you should use Monocle instead since that will provide you with more magic attack percentage, plus it increases per refined level. Next is Bright Purple Eye. This is useful for farming as it adds a lot of damage for the face. The free-to-play substitutions would be Angel Spirit, Monocle, or Silent Sinking. Next is Tears of Heaven. This provides good ignore magic defense, but only if refined to 6. The free-to-play alternative is Evil Eye, which gives you 10% ignore magic defense. Next is Shield of Valhalla. This is excellent for Saint, Divine Avengers, Dorms, and other classes that need HP percentage. It also has a nice 10% stun resistance as a bonus. A free-to-play alternative is the Maya Mask, which gives you 1% HP per refine. Another alternative is the Royal Prestige, which gives you 5% HP and some damage reduction. Next is Juggling Queen. This is very good for people who like to kill bosses and is one of the best face items available in the game. This is very hard to find a free-to-play substitution for this one, which is why it's so valuable. If you're not using auto attack, then a plus 10 refined Silent Sinking is pretty good, however it is very expensive. Next is Loot Goggle. don't get this, you only get extra job EXP. If you really need EXP, buy Saint Gear instead. Next are tail items. There are 10 in total, but only 4 are interesting. For all of these, if you're doing PvE and you need extra damage to bosses, then the free-to-play alternative is to use the Summer Banana Split for extra damage to bosses. Against normal monsters, the Sea Soul tail is good if you're using wind, water, fire, or earth elements. First is Back to the Future, which provides penetration percentage and move speed. The extra move speed is nice, especially for farming. Next is the Paper Crane, which provides magic penetration percentage and move speed. Again, the extra move speed is nice, especially for farming. Next are the 2 purple quality tails. Rainbow Wishing Whale. I don't like the requirements for the opponent's HP to be lower than yours to get the effect. The only thing that I think is good about this is the 1% deposit. Next is Peter Wendy. This is a fantastic tail for magic users, and I see this being used very often. As a result, I would highly recommend this for magic users. It's also nice that it has the 1% deposit. Next is mouth items. The only good one is Dreamweave Silk. For physical users, you get the 4% penetration, as well as a nice freezing effect for PvP. You also get the 1% deposit from this. I do see some people use this, such as Stellar Hunters, so this is definitely a good one to purchase. The free-to-play alternative is the Abyss Whisper for 3% attack and magic attack for a generic mouth item. Also, for boss killers, I use the Butterfly Breath, which you can get from doing the Eclage quest for ROM 2.0 Chapter 3 for the extra 5% damage to boss monsters. Next, let's look at the 900 BCC plus 150 free golden ticket time machine roll. Here's my wife Orihime doing her time machine rolls. For the first roll, she gets 6 headwear. Of that, Back to the Future is the only good one here. She also got 15 reunion proof. For her second roll, she got 2 headwear and 2 reunion proof. Unfortunately, no notable headwear here. For her third roll, she got 25 reunion proof and no headwear. The first claim is the Juggling Queen for the MVP damage increase. Next is the Ned Jogg's Poison Fang for the 1% deposit and for easier farming. Her main is a Saint, but she also multi-classes Stellar Hunter, so this will come in handy when dealing with tougher monsters. Next is Dawn Flute for its great penetration percentage and the 1% deposit. She's a little bit short to claim another purple quality item, so she does a 150 ticket roll using tickets she got from events and from sign-in rewards. She ends up getting 1 additional headwear and 28 reunion proof. Her final buy is the Dreamweave Silk for the 1% deposit and the penetration percentage. Next, what I chose with my reunion proof and why. I have 32 reunion proof, and the 3 headwear of interest were Dawn Flute, Juggling Queen, and Dreamweave Silk. I didn't choose Dawn Flute because I was planning to buy a high refined White Knight helm, which would be better. Also, if I could ever get my Gacha Bashful Moments to +6, that would also be better. For Juggling Queen, when I go Novice Guardian, my +12 Epic Spirit Lightning is better. For Dorum, I had the Gacha Winter Crown, which would give me 9% skill damage, which should outdamage Juggling Queen, since 9% skill damage should be better than 10% MVP damage. I don't use Stellar Hunter versus bosses anymore, otherwise I would pick this one since I don't have a good face for auto attack classes. I went with Dreamweave Silk because of the 1% deposit and I lacked good mouth items. The 4% penetration is quite good and can potentially replace my free-to-play Butterfly Breath. I hope you learned more about the Time Machine and some potential free-to-play alternatives. Good luck with your rolls. If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, and subscribe.